just dropped.
You just finished. Okay.
So, yeah.
You just finished.
I was debating streaming it, but decided, I'd rather we just be more chill. And I mean, you can stream it for sure.
Yeah.
Don't feel anything.
Don't worry, my channel is tiny. It's very chill.
Okay. I wanted to be chill on my side.
Great.
Too many people asking too many StarCraft or Diablo 2 questions and stuff. So
right. Yeah, I caught a little bit of your stream today, and it seemed like you were sort of like, I want to say almost like educating as you did it, like explaining.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was a whole education.
Today was an educational one, huh?
Yeah. So yeah, it's tiring, but fun. Cool. Okay. Let me go to live chess. Should I just do like some unranked games, or do you want to grab, or me try and grab someone from my community, or we try and find people that would be.
We could play anybody. I mean, I could play people from my channel, or I mean, we could play people from my channel or your channel. Either way, it'll give us someone to play against.
Okay.
Yeah. So tomorrow's time control is 10 minutes plus 5 seconds, right?
Is that it? I have not read.
Okay. I think it is.
Okay.
And if you just seek 10 minutes plus 5 seconds on chess.com, it's like not a normal time control, so you won't find games really fast. So we should probably ask some people to play us. So
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell them to.
Competition details available. Let's see. Yeah, 10 plus 5. So, okay. For round robin games. And then best of 1. Oh, wow. Okay, so 2 points for win, 1 for draw, 0 for loss. Cumulative points. First seeds go to the championship. Damn. So we have to win our bracket.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
It's good. We don't have to think about gaming the system. We just have to win.
Just have to win. That's it. And then tiebreaker, the average cap score is the tiebreaker. So honestly, playing for just I feel like playing a longer game that just has simple moves,
Right.
can be super helpful,
Yeah. Or getting into an end game
just
with
go.
When we get into an end game, ask our opponent not to resign
Right.
when we're up a rook, so we can just play it out perfectly with the extra rook.
Exactly. Just play that so perfectly, and then the cap score will just go crazy high. That's crazy.
So the championship bracket is only 4 teams.
Games, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And you play 1 pair of games. Okay.
Cool.
That works.
Yep. Do we know the brackets yet?
Not that I know.
No.
This is my first time doing
No,
something like this, so if I can find my way to the right Discord channel, it'll be amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Do you want me to find someone, or are you asking someone in chat?
Oh yeah, you're going to be the hand, so I'm telling them to challenge you if possible. So
Perfect.
hopefully you'll get a challenge here at some point. Which should appear in the play tab.
Yeah. Yep. I'm there in live chess now, so.
Yeah. So please, for those of you watching, help us out. Send a challenge. We need to practice some. Our goal here is to join our minds together so that tomorrow we just know what the other person's thinking. I practiced a little bit with a friend of mine yesterday, and he's said, and he's
nice.
He's probably like 100 points higher than you, so basically the same range. And he said, as we were playing, he said, you know what? I think with your help, I'm like worse than alone.
Oh yeah, it's true. No, that's. I feel like very low rated players are better with help. Hand and brain.
Right. But you already have things
once
you
you
want to
get
do,
to-
so I'm just kind of like annoying you.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like when when they're like 900, they're missing, obvious blunders, and they're gonna like lose their queen, and so you say queen, and it like saves their queen.
Right. Oh yeah,
'Cause
that's
they
really
see it.
helpful. Queen.
But like, yeah, queen. But like at our level, it's like I have a plan already in my mind, and so now I'm trying to figure out your stupid plan, and I'm like, gosh dang it, like,
Yeah.
I don't like what you're doing. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
It definitely, like, I played terrible when I played with Nemo at first. I played so bad.
Yeah.
Like I was horrified at my gameplay.
Well, when I was
Because it was just
practicing,
so like.
when I was practicing last night, I didn't even have a game plan, so you won't have to worry about guessing my game plan. Like I was mostly just like focused on saying a piece really fast, so then you could figure out what you wanted to do.
Okay.
So I was basically just trying to like conserve time. It's like we need to develop a knight or a bishop. I'll just say knight or bishop, and then you pick whatever you want. There's no point in me like figuring out some fancy thing to do with one of them.
Right. I mean, yeah, avoiding fancy things for sure is we don't need to do that. But I think having some plans is good.
Yeah, I would
But yeah,
say
I would say
say
like if
I
I
would
develop it another way.
I would say maybe 3 to 5 moves in a 40 move game. I actually had to like think and figure out something like that was, maybe
Yeah.
important for us to do.
Yeah. Because I mean these games are also below your level, so it's gonna be probably more obvious to you.
So I'm just going to start the games
assumption.
manually. I'm just going to issue commands there. So I'm going to just create a game between you and one of our users, and it should just pop up when I start it. Oh, New Fate is not online, so I won't be able to do that.
Right.
New Fate, you just have to go into live chess. That'll do. Once you're in live chess, I can make it happen. Anybody else there want to play? Get ready.
But yeah, when I was playing, like, especially, I mean, man, like I played some lower rated players who were like 900, 1,000, and I was like struggling because Nemo's plan and my plan were so far apart that it was like I was just like blundering things because I was just so confused what she was trying to get me to do. It wasn't making sense. But then I was able to win because like eventually they made mistakes and because they were lower rated. But then when I was playing against like Hikaru and Hutch.
Yeah.
Like, if I was playing by myself, I think I would have won. But at the same time, like, Hutch, if he was playing by himself, it probably would have been a little different as well, right? It was just like, it was just tough, It was so hard to like, figure out. Because she'd have one plan, I'd have another plan, and so then I'd make a move towards my plan, and it wouldn't be the one towards hers, and then we'd have to. It just, too many pivots, right?
Yeah. I was looking at a few of your games before, and I think I saw you sometimes like win some games from bad positions, which means you don't
Yeah, I do that a lot.
you don't give up. You keep scrapping for chances, which is really useful. Good to see that if we're in a bad position, it doesn't mean we've lost already.
I mean, sometimes I thrive in bad positions. I mean, I'm guessing you looked at my last game against Mark. Okay, here we have the game ready. So,
There you go. Pawn.
all right, let's do it. Yeah, my
Pawn.
last game I played was so scrappy.
Pawn.
Okay. I wonder which way. See, like this already, we get to like. And honestly, I don't have a great opening against the Caro-Kann. I generally just play an exchange because I don't know what the heck I want to do with it.
Well, I gave you a chance to do that, didn't I? Pawn.
Yeah. Pawn. Whoa.
Yeah. So basically, I was giving you the option to play c3 or c4 depending on how open or closed position you wanted by doing that. So like you can do what
Gotcha.
you can really.
I was looking at c3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those were like the two style options for you. So I'm like trying to give you some leeway when I can, certainly in the opening.
Yeah.
Knight.
Oh, this one. Yeah, I was looking at also like f3. I don't know if that's a thing that gets played against the Caro.
Yeah, it's the fantasy variation.
Really
it's like it's crazy and fancy. So
okay.
I thought there was a good chance that you'd be happy with this here, but
yeah. This seems totally fine for how I play something here.
Queen.
Queen. Okay, I go there. What, he just goes back or he develops a piece? Is that worth anything? What if I just go here? Put pressure.
So it would have been simpler for you if I said bishop or knight. That's why I hesitated on that one, because I was like, we have a really good move, but I'm putting more pressure on him to find a really good move versus like if I say bishop or knight, you can play a fine move really quickly.
Right. Yeah, bishop and knight are the easy ones. Queen, I mean, I'm assuming this is where you want the queen because we're attacking b7 while also attacking d5.
Yeah. If you were like
very nice move.
If you were mainly a d4 player, I would have been confident that you know that queen b3 is like the way to hit these two squares on b7 and d5 if your opponent brings out the bishop too early. But since you're an e4 player, like I hesitated a little bit, and you know there was nothing wrong with bishop e2 or knight f3, so that's maybe a little risky by me. Because like queen a4 would have been sort of bad, as I think you figured out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, queen a4 just loses a tempo and or gives him a development.
Yep.
Like, and then my queen's just kind of existing in nowhere.
Right. Like, why am I here?
Yeah. So, like, obviously that gives us queen b3, queen c2, which just hides the queen for no reason. Queen d2, which just kind of blocks our bishop in.
Yeah.
And queen d3, which is kind of the other thing I was looking at, but I wasn't sure why. It was just like an escape spot. So queen b3 is, you know, I mean, it took me 20 seconds, 30 seconds, but it's clearly like the best move.
Great. All right. So. Now we will do... We'll do pawn.
Oh, there's so many pawn moves to make here. I mean, it feels like so many good pawn moves to make, though.
As long
So
as
I'm
you're
not like
as long
super
as you're
upset
happy.
about it. Do I want to solidify that position for him, though? So I'm looking, and you have to respond to it, but I'm looking
Right.
at c5 because I like the idea of forcing him to trade the queen on our terms, opening up the file for our rook, yada, yada, yada. Um, and kind of just putting that pressure. Additionally, he is threatening currently d4, so that stops that. At the same time, we could just take his pawn, but then if he takes, then yeah, I think that's the move I want.
Yeah. My chat was just giving you the advice not to move the A pawn.
I was like, the only pawn I can't move right now is
Good.
like A2, A3, or A4.
Good.
That's the only
You're on
pawn
the
I
same
cannot
wavelength as
move.
my chat.
Good job. We're doing it, chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise it was like, I do have the take option kind of, but not really, because I guess D4 hanging was the big like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then if he takes D4, then I take on B7, and then
Yep. And that would win for you. So you had both
so that
options.
doesn't work. Yeah, that's winning. So I did have both, but I just didn't know about like taking D5. It just felt weird for some reason. But at the same time, now I'm kind of giving up C4 and E4. So I wasn't as happy about that. Because while I don't play D4, I play black against D4.
Pawn.
And so I know this trade here. Like, you generally don't want that to happen.
Okay. Knight.
Ugh, that D4 pawn is so weak.
Yeah. It's annoying. The downside to the opponent having that bishop G4 move in.
Yep. And our development's not great.
Right.
I wonder if just developing the other knight was worth it there, but then I figure he trades, we stack, and then he takes on D4, and
Yeah.
then what?
Right.
You know?
Can't allow that. I was considering some crazy lines like H3 with the pawn to make the bishop choose its direction. And then like knight takes D4,
Yeah.
and if pawn takes bishop, knight C2, right? Or H3, knight takes D4, rook A4, hitting the
Yeah.
knight from the side while escaping the fork. And I thought that's exactly what you probably don't want me like trying too hard to do stuff like that. So
Too much, right?
now we'll play pawn. Is that right? That would have been pretty confusing if I went for like H3, knight takes pawn, stuff like that, right?
Uh, so which knight takes pawn? So h3,
Yeah.
bishop plays back to
Well, so the
wherever.
thing is, like last move, instead of knight b5, if we had played h3, black
Yeah.
could play knight d4, leaving the bishop hanging and threatening knight c2. And then it gets into sort of cuckoo stuff.
Oh. Oh man, that
Yeah.
does get cuckoo.
Yeah. So
I
I
mean, then
chose
we're
not
playing
to
what?
get too cuckoo.
King e2 or d2?
I was thinking rook a4 in that position,
Oh,
hitting the
but then
knight
no,
across
never
from the
mind.
side.
Yeah, and then
But
avoiding that. Yeah, that actually is a nice. I mean, if you said rook there, I would have found rook a4 for sure,
right.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, so
Okay. Borderline fancy stuff. I guess yeah. I mean, once I say rook, then
yeah,
you'll find that move there for sure. Okay, we get
yeah.
this. All right. Let's go. Somehow I gravitate toward crazy stuff even when I'm trying not to.
I mean, the question really just becomes, like you say, in this case, if you said rook, I know there's only one rook to move,
Yeah.
and I can find
I'll
moves,
I'll
off of
just
a
go
rook.
bishop. That gives you a lot of room to do whatever you want.
Okay. I'm just gonna go simple.
Cool.
Probably not the best bishop move right now, but I just really wanted to lock down d4.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I should have gone bishop to f4.
Was an option too.
Kind of gets
I didn't even waste energy figuring out
kind of
which
gets
was
a little
best.
nasty. I mean, f4 just feels like it's starting to get gross in there.
Yeah. It's got some good points as well. Okay. Let's go pawn.
Um, yeah, sure. Is that the
Knight.
pawn you were thinking?
Mm-hmm. Knight.
Okay. Yeah. Trying to see which way I want to develop it.
Sure thing. What do we call people who hang their rook? Rookies. Very good, JRI.
Nice. That's good. Good stuff.
Oh, people who hang their bishops. It's going to be something like how in the French Revolution or other revolutions, people actually like hung the clergy as well as the nobles. Bishop here.
Right.
Revolutionaries. JRI says heretics. Someone in my chat who watched the previous Twitch rivals said you were the strongest hand in that competition last time. How did I get so
Thank
lucky
you.
as to be dealt the strongest hand?
Tried my best.
Let's do the king.
Tried my best. feel like we're, close enough towards end game stuff that getting the king involved feels better than castling him away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're probably right. It probably also doesn't make a big difference. Like, the difference between king e2 and castles is probably like, less than a tenth of a pawn. They're both fine.
Yeah.
Daster, we
play
played
the computer's lines.
Daster, we played a you're trying to get our cap score up, right? Daster, we played
exactly.
an
cap
exchange
score,
caro.
This would be maybe rest.
Yeah, we're getting a high cap score here right now.
Yeah, it's an interesting position. It's an interesting position for sure.
Practically speaking, too, because it's hell to play for our opponents.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, what do I do? What do I do? You may just be sort of looking at it from our perspective, but like from Black's perspective, these kind of positions are like,
from Black, oh my
like
God.
You see like our opponent getting into time trouble. Like, I would expect that, right? Because it's just like you're not really sure what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Every move just looks so rough for Black right now, and your bishop is kind of garbage. I mean, maybe just improving that, like.
All right, new fade got disconnected.
Oh.
Good start for us. Sorry about the DC new fade. Thanks for giving us.
It's gonna be pretty high. Let's see it.
Thanks for giving us most of a game.
Let's see what we got. 89.5. Not bad. If we could have taken it to endgame, that would have been the.
Yeah. We were getting there.
Spot. All right,
by the way, the next thing I would be doing from this position as white would probably have been putting like the rook on a4, by the way.
Rook on a4 and then just double stacking on it?
Yeah, because it's also supporting the d-pawn, and it has the plan of playing b4, b5 at some point, because they'll eventually play a6, and then you want to drop the knight to c3 and play b4, b5. So my big plan here would have been rook a4 next.
Him playing a6 isn't a threat at all, though.
No, but still, it stops us from winning on the A file. So if we want to make further progress, we're going to have to go b4, b5.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was definitely looking at how do I get my pawn to b4. And I guess rook a4 makes total sense.
It's the best way to do it.
And I mean, that's the thing. We've got that file, so it's like that would have been the file that I would have doubled on. I probably would have gone to a2, though, and then taken a little bit to think about
to get there.
That, oh, wait, a4 is the best spot.
Yeah. I would have been like, rook.
I would have just sacked. Yeah, I would have just sacked on the a7 pawn, though, until he moved it forward.
If you keep telling me rook, I'm going to play rook a7.
My thought is, like, eventually a6 comes, I play knight back to c3, and then either, force a trade on it or kick his knight away, and then if I do get a trade, then I have c3, I can push b4 at that point, or, but whatever, I don't know. It would have been a thing.
Yeah. Well, overall, I think that went really well. Yeah. For a start. So I'm looking for another opponent. We've got Boondock Striker is going to come up next here.
Nice. Yeah, E2 is worth 0.223. No, 0.33 more.
0.3? Like a third of a pawn better than castling?
Yeah.
Wow, you're better than me. I'm learning something from you here today. I thought it wasn't a big difference. Wow, you're going to crush the cap score. All right, here's the striker for you. And we'll go with pawn. And let's see. Knight.
Okay.
Bishop.
Yay.
Whoa. Pawn. Bishop. King. And pawn. That's right, Had. That's what it says here. Either you're psychic or you can read. Either way. Nice. I'm hoping that my kids will
Also, I
either be
haven't played
psychic or be able
Rapid
to
in...
read. You have what?
Yeah, me too. Oh, here. Well, let's move first.
Okay. Let's go with knight. What were you gonna say about rap?
I was gonna say that's usually how I take two. I was saying I haven't played Rapid
Rapid.
in a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been playing Bullet and some Blitz. I mean, I haven't played a ton lately, but my Blitz has been kind of mediocre.
Okay. Knight.
So let's see. Do we drop or do we just take and then open that? I mean, so knight to b6 or knight takes c3 are both of my thoughts. Technically, also just drop back to f6 if I really wanted. Which is an idea. But if we go there, we force his bishop to move again. Which is kind of nice. If we trade it, he gets a little bit stronger center than we do. I feel like I'm gonna drop.
Pawn. Knight.
What was that?
Knight.
Knight?
Yep.
Okay.
pawn.
Pawn. I'm guessing you want this.
I went for it, and you were right there with me.
I was assuming you were. No, there's no way you want that before, right? Because they had more pressure on that with the bishop and the queen
Yep.
barreling down on e6.
Normally in a position like
So
this,
I
it's
would
like
have lost me.
100% that I would develop my knight. The only reason I would like, and you can know this about me, like in the opening, I like to develop quickly. So if I'm not moving the
Yeah.
knight on b8, like something basically tactical is up,
Something
or I
there.
lost my brain. But
Yeah.
like it's very rare for me to be like h6 or a6 or something for no reason. I don't do those moves.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was looking for f6 the whole time.
Nice.
I was just when he had the bishop there, I knew I couldn't. The bishop queen, like I didn't have a defense on it.
Yep, that's why we had to
But
trade
I
it.
was yeah, I was waiting for it.
Yeah. Oh man. Racking up the caps.
Okay. Ready.
Bishop.
But yeah, all that time stuff to be said. I don't feel like we should run into time pressure too much.
Okay.
I feel pretty confident that with 10-5,
Mm-hmm.
we should be okay on time pressure.
Okay. King.
Ooh.
Rook.
Almost worked.
JRI, you're not going to get banned. You can set your mind at ease and just keep drinking. Does anyone else play on Yahoo Chess? Probably not so much anymore.
Yahoo Chess. Love it.
All right. Only legal move is the queen.
Yep.
Then we will go with our bishop. Queen.
Mm. Sure. I guess I could have gone somewhere else. I forgot I brought the bishop back to defend e8.
Yeah, I thought you had.
That was exactly the reason I did, and then I
Yeah.
forgot 5 seconds
I was
after.
like, what a prudent knight. 6 moves later than I normally would have said knight, but good things happened.
We're developing.
Yep.
Yeah, I should have put pressure on the bishop, honestly. Just very dumb.
Go with queen. How big a handicap am I so far for you?
No, I mean, I think we're vibing well.
Okay, not messing with your stuff too much yet. So I remembered that you said that you like to play the reverse London against the London, right?
Sorry.
That's okay. Queen.
Yeah. Yeah. I assumed
So-
you were going queen.
So I did pick the opening okay for you this game. Was there anything you didn't like about the choices at the start?
Let me look through the analysis.
If there's any move where I made you not do what you wanted
The
to.
bishop. I'm guessing bishop take bishop was a blunder. Because he actually had queen take.
Yeah, that was the opponent's
No,
blunder.
that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I would have played before I played c5. I mean, I'm totally fine playing c5 there. But I would have played knight to d7 probably when he moved his knight in,
Yeah.
just to kind of have that knight there and then
Right.
play.
The thing about
But,
having
I
the
mean, I
knight on
wasn't, like,
d7,
offended by it.
the thing about having the knight on d7 is if we try to play c6 or c5 later, then sometimes the bishop on d6 will be undefended and they'll be able to play a move like knight f7, attacking our queen.
Oh yeah, actually that's a good point.
That's why I
actually lose
chose.
that
That's why I chose
lots of
not to
times.
play knight d7. I played
Yeah.
c5, planning to put the knight on c6 just to keep your bishop defended.
Yep. No, I like it. Wow, I should have taken the dark square bishop with my knight. How did I miss that? That's just horrible. That's horrifying.
I think you didn't notice that it was one of your options.
I didn't. I was
Yeah.
straight up only looking at 3 options. I didn't.
Yeah.
I should have just selected all the possible squares. Well, that was dumb.
It's okay.
Jesus.
Okay.
Okay, so
That's one of the reasons that sort of the
Let me see.
Queen's Gambit and the London sometimes don't mesh well.
yeah.
Is because when an opponent's knight comes to d5, it hits this tempo on the bishop. So that can hurt White's chances to
Got it.
put pressure in the center. There's also a weird option we had at the beginning of the game. I just mentioned it to see what you think of it. If you go to move 5
Yeah.
after White plays e3, and I said bishop,
Okay.
you have an option to take on b1. And then after they recapture, you can play bishop
Oh yeah.
bishop b4, and they actually have to play king e2.
Oh. That's actually a really funny line and kind of throws them off their game.
It's very weird, and it's one of those
like it.
things where like I don't think it's like better than a normal move. I expected you to choose
Right.
bishop d6. I was happy that you chose bishop d6. Honestly, if you played bishop b4 check, I would have been not as pumped about that, and bishop e7 not as pumped. So I think bishop d6 was the nicest choice, but bishop takes b1 is sort of an interesting idea just to know.
Now that you've told me about it, I'm gonna like look at it and like try and play it sometime probably, just because
Yeah.
it seems just stupid fun,
Right. It's just like a different kind of like equal opening position, I think, but like it might
Right.
mess with some people, right?
Right.
Yeah. All
So
right. Have a good day at
actually,
work,
neither
Daster.
bishop move. Actually, neither bishop move was accurate
Okay. At which,
from the stuff. When it was the like bishop takes on move 13.
yeah. Oh, really? Oh my goodness. So let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see what's the accurate move.
Both bishop moves were inaccuracies.
Okay, let me think a second because
The accurate move
after
is just knight c6 and develop. Oh, sorry.
I said bishop, I was wondering to myself like, this line is like really messy. Like maybe I should have played knight c6, or maybe I should have even played b5, like changing the tactics before trying to win the piece.
Yeah, it says c6 is the only like move that it likes here. Because
Okay.
yeah, I mean otherwise, they take with the queen, right? And then
Yeah.
okay, and then we take, and then this, and then you know, yeah.
I'm not sure what
So
black's
it kind of
supposed
ends
to do
up better
against
for white.
b5. That's really tricky.
Oh, what white's supposed to do against b5?
Yeah.
They just take it with their knight.
Take it with their knight. Oh, and then after check, queen check, king h8, they can take on d6 with the knight, stopping rook e8 and escaping bishop takes knight.
Oh, that's nasty.
Because I was thinking, right, the point of b5
Good
is that
lord.
here, if they take on d6 with the queen, we pick up that knight on b5. That's why, like, b5 was, like, this idea
Right.
that popped into my head. But I think maybe knight takes d6 is why the computer doesn't like
Gotcha.
this. That's pretty messy.
Nah.
Wow, that knight's just crushing there,
Oof.
actually.
Yeah, because then knight takes d6, and then
Yeah.
that's nasty
The
still.
knight's just, like, in our
Oof.
face. Crazy.
Yeah. Right.
Crazy.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, I was totally fine though with the how he did it there and everything. And
Yeah.
like obviously it was,
Yeah, that's right,
it was
Boondock.
whatever. But
It was really good that you found queen takes e6 check, but then you needed to take on d6 with your queen, and it would have been a messy game, would have continued.
yeah. Never put the queen in front of the king
Yeah.
like that. That's like my number one. Whenever I have to put my queen in front for some reason, I always like quadruple check
Yeah.
first. Is this okay?
All right. You want to play a couple more or chat about
Yeah.
strategy or anything? I think we could play a couple
Yeah,
more.
let's play a couple more.
All right.
Do you have any like 16, 1700s?
Yeah. All right. So somebody in
Try and get a
chat
little harder.
in the 1600 to 1800 range would be like very good practice for us. If you're around Baron, you could give us a
Yep.
really tough game.
I want to lose.
Yeah, we want to see what it's like when we're kind of maybe on the losing side of a matchup. Baron will play us. Okay, cool. So Baron's like just a little bit over 1800. This would be a good challenge for us.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Pawn.
Baron,
Knight.
hello.
Bishop. Pawn.
Oh yeah. I like to play the Ortho Schnapp Gambit or some crazy variation just to go insane sometimes.
Okay. I
Probably
don't
not
I don't know
the
what that
best
name
idea on
is.
there.
I don't know what that name is, but
Okay.
I had a feeling I was directing things in
D4.
your way.
Yeah. Yeah, D4 and then they take and then castles and then they take the other pawn and
Yeah.
then knight C3,
Okay.
gambiting the knight.
All right.
And then you can it's
Yeah.
so disgustingly it's a terrible gambit. But
Okay. I know that. I
it's
know
so
that
fun.
one. Basically, the way for black to
Okay.
refute it is to take the knight with their knight, not their pawn, and then they play knight takes knight, hitting your
Yes. And then you get
queen,
a different
and then
kind
you
of
recapture, and they just play d5,
yeah.
and they can play bishop e6, bishop e7, and you're
Yeah.
down a pawn instead of a piece. But there's just no love in the city.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, sorry, it's our move. Let's go with
Yeah.
castles.
Yeah, and I'm not always like it has to be, that. It always makes some weird lines, and I kind of like it just
Yeah.
because I don't know, you get a bunch of weird lines in it, and it takes people out of their comfort zone a lot of times, and so you just get like crazy games.
Yeah. Knight. Yeah, if the like titled player couldn't control our opponent by saying, knight instead of pawn when we do that knight sack, then I could do something like that to make life hard for them, but
Yeah.
I think they'd be able to
Yeah,
control that.
that is the problem.
Knight.
Yeah, let's just go there.
Knight. Bishop.
Is that what you wanted?
Yep.
Okay.
And you heard me say bishop for this one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was there or bishop e3. It's kind of my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the two things I was thinking of.
Yeah. I'm not an expert on this, but I think the best move is bishop f4.
Bishop f4.
Yeah.
See, I just felt like that just ran into some dead end there,
Yeah. It's looking to
I
maybe
guess
just
ultimately I'm trying to put
it's
pressure.
looking to maybe just play e5 at some point and trade that pawn and then trade queens and just play the endgame with their weird queenside pawn structure.
Yep.
But it's also just a square where the bishop's
and honestly, that
out of the way of
well.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also just a square where the bishop's kind of out of the way of stuff. Like on g5, your bishop can get attacked. On e3, it can get attacked.
Right.
Right, by their knight g4 or h6 or knight d7 or something.
Yeah.
So bishop f4, it's like really random looking. I only learned about that move recently, but again, I didn't care, right? I just say bishop and you pick what you want. You like the e5 plan, right?
Right.
It's the simple way. In the old days, I would always have played.
Plan, it actually looks really good.
In the old days, I would have always played for like a pawn storm. So I would have played like f4
Yep.
and try to like swarm the king
Exactly.
side, but it would have always been very risky. Okay.
Yeah.
Bishop. Baron is messing with the wrong people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought he was gonna do that.
And this is where we've got 10 minutes. I don't need to like tell you a piece. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can just chill for a moment while I calculate.
Mm-hmm.
Queen.
Queen.
Now, are the rules in Twitch Rivals tomorrow pretty strict about like saying anything other than pieces? Like you're not supposed to be like I'm happy with you, I'm
Yes.
mad at you, or anything like that, right? Like you really like
Yep.
no chat, just
Nothing.
piece names.
Yeah. You just say the piece and that's it. You can't give multiple moves. You can't give yes or good job or that's
Right.
what I was hoping you would do.
Right.
Or anything like, or why didn't you play this? Like, no. You just say
Yeah.
queen.
Do they have like refs
Rook.
to go over it and be like, I think there was a faint
I mean, yeah, honestly. Like, you're supposed to have push to talk on with me and stuff so that you don't accidentally let that out.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
you'll only hear me for a
That's their,
second at a
like,
time. I'll just
recommendation.
yeah.
Yep, you push to
Okay.
talk, you say the thing, and then you let go. So
I saw that
the
option.
the clarification that I did get, and they might change it by tomorrow, but I said, can I say my moves to you? And they were like, sure. So I could say, if you say bishop, I'm going to take the queen. I'm gonna play bishop takes d8. If you say
Right.
queen, I'm going to play queen takes c3. If you
Wow.
say rook, I'm going to play rook plays, c1 or whatever it is, right?
Right.
Like, I can
Wow.
tell you all of that information so that you have an idea, and in case one of them is a terrible idea, you can just avoid telling
I can
me
just
that
not
piece,
say that
you
piece.
know?
Oh man. And they said yes, you could do that?
Yeah, they were like, yeah, that's cool.
Wow.
So if
Okay.
you say bishop, I'm going to take f8.
Bishop.
If you say queen, okay.
You had me at takes.
You had me at take. Yep.
All right. Anything you want to tell me before I tell you a piece?
Yeah. Let's see. If you say bishop, I'm going to take d5.
Bishop.
Okay.
I think they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna want to use this rule for long because this really lets us harness.
That's kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, it's a little
know?
bit too nuts. I mean,
If you say queen, I'm
Yeah.
gonna play queen to e7. If you say bishop, I'm gonna take on d6.
right.
And those
Queen.
are the only two moves I'm looking at. All right, I will play queen to e7.
God, I feel like we just encountered some kind of deity
It
figure
feels
that like
so-
touched us and granted us some kind of insane power. You must be
Right.
kidding.
That's kind of my thoughts.
We can do this.
So, I mean, I literally talked to the refs. I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, this seems very strong. And they were like, I mean, it doesn't break any of the rules, so we'll talk it over, I guess, further, and I'll let you know tomorrow.
Wow, because there were only rules
So
about like
maybe
what
we
I
should
could say.
practice. Yeah, exactly. All the rules are what you can say. So,
Okay.
oh man, let's see. If you say bishop, I'll take on G7 and just get wild. If you say, okay, we shouldn't do this. Let's not practice it in this capacity.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna say rook.
Okay.
Bishop. Rook.
One legal move.
Oh man, my chat is saying you can say pawn, and depending on how long you say pawn, you mean like the A pawn, the B pawn, the C pawn, the D pawn. So like if it's like the eighth pawn, you hold it like there are eight
Pawn.
A's in pawn.
Pawn.
Pawn. Queen.
I mean, you could definitely metagame a little bit like that.
Yeah. We need a bridge style convention, they say. Here we're gonna go with pawn.
Pawn. Whoa. So many. You didn't hold it for long enough, so I don't know.
I decided not to cheat.
Run.
Now they're all guessing which pawn I wanted because I said it so fast. No, you guys. Alex got it. Alex got it. It was none of your pawns.
They were all on the A side, A, B.
Yep. I can tell there's bridge players in my chat. They're very quick to figure out a coded system for this.
Is that what bridge all is? It's just code words?
I mean, the bidding part at the start, where you say stuff like "I bid one club," it doesn't necessarily mean that your
I'm gonna
hand has
bid.
clubs, right? It's like
Right,
I've got
right.
this many like queens or rooks or knights or whatever. I guess they've got jacks and things there.
Sure.
Been playing a
Sure.
lot of chess. Okay. Pawn. Queen.
Am I missing something? I mean, H6, right? I guess not. Uh. Oh, wait, no, because then he mates us, because we're not. Yeah, just kidding.
Pawn.
I forgot that even though his thing still can't do anything, it still can get in the way.
So my plan there was to wait a long time before moving. Because if I say
And that's
pawn
the perfect
quickly
way, because
to
I'm going to start talking
to stop
through
checkmate, you might play h6,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so I'm just going to sit there
Right.
at least
That's one
long
of
enough that
those-
you're like, why is he sitting here?
Yeah. And that's perfect. Because honestly, that's it. All right.
Queen.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, how do we want this? So queen there. You can just go back there. Doesn't really change anything. Queen takes. He can move his king over. Okay. But it gets it out of the way at least. Yeah, and that's like exactly it. Because in my mind, once again, I was like, oh, his rook is pinned. But obviously it's a mate in one. Obviously. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and this is literally how I just lose so many stupid games. It's the worst nightmare of ever.
Yeah.
Um,
That all makes sense. Here we're going to go with a rook.
Yeah. A rook. Okay. So obviously f3 is threatened because I can't do anything against it. So rook to f1 looks good to me. I also kind of love the idea of sacking rook on e6. And then he has to take or he gets mated, I'm pretty sure. And then I take with my queen. And then, so I win a pawn and a bishop for the rook.
Test, test, test. Do you hear me now?
And then we can push our pawn again, I guess. I mean,
test, test, test. I don't think he can hear me. I switched to push to move on purpose.
I kind of like that. I mean, we're +3, so I
now
kind of
how
like
do I push to
sacking
talk?
idea. Takes, check.
Hey, can you hear me?
I mean, f3 is dangerous. Screw it. Let's go.
So I switched to push to talk for a second there, but then I didn't know how to push. Queen.
Okay.
So you'll have to tell me that at some point here. All right. We're gonna go with queen. Pawn. Rook. Pawn. Pawn. King. Rook. King. Rook. Pawn. Pawn. King. King. Rook. King.
Mm.
King. 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 Pawn. Rook. Rook. I don't think so, Spaghetti. Rook. Rook. King. Rook.
GG.
GG. Pulled it out.
Woo! Damn. Yeah, so that played pretty much exactly how I'd like to play.
Okay.
Go up +2, and then trade everything,
Mm-hmm.
and then just be better in the end game.
Yeah.
You know, because we're +2. Like,
Pawn.
Um,
Pawn. Pawn. Yeah, that totally worked. I was a bit worried
I
with the
don't
rook
know if
endgame, but it worked
that's.
out.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little because a lot of rook end games are kind of drawish, right? Um, but you played it really well. I liked
Well, thank
your
you. You did too. um,
96.1. Very nice.
Look at us racking it up. Um, One thing in
Right.
that endgame
That's what I'm talking about. Them cap scores.
is you should rush your king to a6. We got our king kind of stuck on c7 and then had to use the rook.
Yeah, no, 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 no. I noticed that as
Yeah,
well. That's why I said, "Dang it!"
that's why
As
you
soon
said
as I played,
yeah,
yeah, as
yeah,
soon as I played the king to c5, because I was like, "Oh wait, no,
yeah,
I should have gone to b5, so I
yeah.
could go to a6 next, and then
But then
not have
then
to be in that stupid position."
then Baron checked us with the rook, and you went to d6. But you could have still like reversed courses and gone to b5. Um, you sort of like
Yeah,
kept
yeah, yeah,
running
yeah,
with the king in that direction.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
It actually liked bishop taking g7 all those times when I was telling you.
yeah,
I was like, sack on g7.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, our
it was
bishop
like you
wasn't
should have
going to be
played
able
that
to get
earlier.
out, so
Yeah, so it was like,
might as well
I guess
ruin
it
their
was like a
king.
might as well sort of play.
And once we do that, rushing the H pawn up the board is, I think, the best plan. So I'm glad that I know that when I said pawn
Yeah,
initially, you were kind of
no,
confused, but you picked the right idea. So
yeah, no, it liked that for sure. I mean, yeah, the e3 rook e3 is like, it calls that a inaccuracy or whatever. I mean, I thought it was fine because I like the idea of it.
rook
And then
E3.
it did actually it liked rook e3 just to bring the rook over.
Oh, instead of
I'm guessing.
H4.
Yeah, just. And I was
Yeah,
looking at that. That was actually the move I was debating.
yeah,
Um, if you said rook, I would have played rook e3 for sure.
yeah.
But I was just a little worried leaving the lone rook back there.
Mm-hmm.
That was like my fear with it was like, ah, crap. If we're leaving this rook, and then is there something dumb gonna happen? Because
Right,
he's just like sitting behind that stupid c pawn.
right, and plays like
But
Queen C2 at some point.
yeah, exactly. But getting the rook on e3 gives us, just the ability to stack it in front there and kind of get nasty.
Yeah, rook E3 to
Um,
G3. Should have done that.
but but I really liked your plan. I mean, I totally was on board with it. I'm a big like aggressive pusher on the outside pawns in these
Mm-hmm.
positions. So you're definitely going to see me play h4, a4, h5, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
and then yeah, it actually liked the rook sack. It thought that was the best move in this position. So
yeah.
that's perfect because
That's
that's
what I
exactly what I was like. Yeah.
That's what I'd planned. And I thought that you might also play the move rook to e4 in that position if you weren't feeling like super confident. Just kind of,
Yeah.
you know, blocking the queen off on that diagonal and whatever, just doing something with the rook because I said
Right.
rook. But I think rook takes e6 is really good. I would have hated rook f1. I don't like going like passive when you don't need to.
Yeah, it says that would have been a blunder. And I agree. Like, that was the thing, is once I was looking at it, it was like, why are we being passive? Like, we're +3 right now. We can trade a rook off for 4 material and get a check with our queen and kind of be in this nasty position. And then, and then there, obviously, it says that my queen trade was a blunder.
Yeah, I was planning
I
queen
assume,
f5 check.
yeah, I assumed that it would, but
Mm-hmm.
my, like, thought was just let's like I said, it's the same as before. I'm here to win the game,
Yeah,
and I feel comfortable when he's got 2 stacked pawns on the d file, no passed pawns,
yeah,
and we're just like, it just felt like it was a good position. Obviously we're going to give up the h pawn, but
yeah.
um
Yeah, if you're
like,
confident that you can win that way, it's like fine to play a way that's like +2 instead of +5. If like for you
yeah,
that's sort of like a guaranteed way to win or an almost guaranteed way to win.
yeah.
And you found
I mean, it's not that I
you
can't mess
found
it
the
up.
rook d1 c3 plan. So you justified your choice.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Yeah, the Rook D1 C3 was the idea that I kind of had, but I really loved your like King G2 idea and stuff to bring the king over and kind of cut him off.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really
Yeah, I was like,
really smart.
let's
That's
keep that guy
yeah.
over there.
Yeah, because I mean, once I kind of got there, I was like, okay, and then like as soon as the king got to E3, I was like, oh, this game's over. Like he has no chance.
Yeah, we were just way too strong once the king was on E3, and
Yep.
on move 35 where you played E5. I mean, I don't know what the computer's going to think, but my preference.
It said best move.
It said best move for E5. Okay, wow.
Yep.
I was thinking that we
It says
had
D5 is an alternative, but it's a third of a pawn less.
wow. I was thinking that like D5 and King D4 was just the most clinical way to just like take the opponent apart.
And King D4. Oh, and then just go for the like
Just
rip
kind
it
of
up and
just kind of take
I mean,
that
it
C
says
pawn
that
and
is
just keep
also
going.
best.
Yeah, but
Yeah. I mean, it says they're both best, but yeah, my thought was just if we dump it, like we can get this C pawn out of the way.
Yep.
And like just once again, it's the trade everything off method because we've got this G pawn.
Yeah.
And so we have 2-on-1 on one side and a G pawn, and our king is closer to the like those pawns. So he just has no chance. Like
yeah, each choice
eventually,
each of the couple choices you made where I was like a little bit worried, you then like justified in a way where like I don't need to be worried. You know, I was like, oh, this might be tricky to win, or oh, this might be tricky to win, but then you did what needed to be done, so actually it was fine. Like that E5 position that we reached at some point, like you needed to find the idea of just moving your rook to go take the A pawn and leaving the other stuff, but like you did and quickly. So
yep.
yeah, I think.
I mean, there was we had to eventually get there. Like
yeah. So I'll just learn
just
to like
forever.
I'll just learn to trust that you've got it in all these end games.
Oh God, I hope I don't ruin it over there tomorrow. Be a little more nervous and stuff. But I mean, that's like I say. Overall, this is usually how I win my games. And like when I played against Samai, right? So I played a bunch of games against him.
Okay.
And basically, he would always have a winning position out of the opening, +1 to +2, like guaranteed.
Yeah.
I just my openings are not great, and I get in trouble a lot with them. As you've probably seen from looking at some of my games, if you looked at a few of them, like a lot of times my openings just get me into trouble.
Yeah.
And then I just like scrape my way back, pull myself into an endgame, and even if I'm like -2 in it, I can defend usually really well until they make that like crucial mistake, you know, because it's so easy in an endgame to mess up, right? Like that's the stupid part. You can be +7, and you push a pawn one square, and now you're -2, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like I don't even see it.
You allow a breakthrough, you trap your king on the side of the board, and you can't use him for the rest of the end game because of a rook or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a billion ways to lose an end game. And so that was how I like beat him every single time, was purely just get to the end game, down 2, and then just find some way to pick off, a pawn here, a pawn there, trap his rook, his king, stupid stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's completely the opposite of how I sort of like play chess, learn to play chess and all that. But I think that I'm able to adapt to it, even though, we're not like a match made in style heaven, but I think that I can adapt here quickly enough.
I mean, I think the good news is you're a lot stronger than me, so even like me good at endgames is still like worse than you, even if you're not good at endgames at your level,
Right.
So it's still better in that regard, right?
Yeah, and I've been working on my end game. Can you teach me how to do this push talk thing so I don't mess that up tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
like
So you
I
go
click on the
to
microphone and I click on push to talk, but then I was just basically muted. What do I have to do then?
no, no, no. So you'll need to go into your user settings and then go to voice and video.
Okay. And I need to set a keybind for it.
Their tab as focus. So most people download the Discord app, and then you can set a key for it. So then it
Mm-hmm.
only works when you push space or tilde or whatever key you set up for it.
Okay. No keybind set. Um, so how do I set the keybind? It's I'm there and it says shortcut and it says no keybind set and keybinds are disabled while this panel is visible. Okay. Voice and video. Nothing.
Got that?
No, I didn't get it. How does I'm just gonna Google. Push to talk. Does that work? Does that work?
Yep.
And now I'm talking and you
Perfect.
can't hear me. And now I'm talking and you can hear me. Do I need to hold down?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Do I need to hold down the space bar while I talk?
Yes.
The whole time. Okay.
Yep. The whole time that you're talking, you have to have the space bar on.
Okay. So I'm drawing a long line of space bars. I'm talking bishop g5. I let go. I say some things you don't hear. Knight.
Yep. Knight. Yeah.
Okay, and now I'm just going back to voice activity so we can chat more easily. But okay, I think I did it. Sorry about that. I'm
Okay. Okay.
new. All right.
Welcome to the internet.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I was I was probably like 400 rated at Discord 1 year ago.
Well, we'll work on it. We'll work on your mid game and stuff, and
Yeah.
get you there.
All right.
Any thoughts, ideas, tips, things from those games you saw that uh, you think would be good to share?
No, I mean, I think you're good. It's just a matter of me calibrating to you, and maybe a little bit of you calibrating to me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not gonna like teach you anything about how to play chess in like 10 minutes tonight. We're just sort of figuring out how to work together.
Sure. I mean, but I don't know, there's general ideas, I guess, of things to look for a little more or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean,
But
you're good. You play your chess your
I mean,
way.
yeah, it seemed like we were on it.
Yeah. And I'm going to be trying to develop pieces in the opening, so won't be
Yeah.
too mysterious.
Yeah. I mean, that works for me.
Yeah. Like I remember in like one of the game, like in
Um,
the first game, when I said queen and you were sort of listing all the possible queen moves and why I wouldn't play them, and one of them was like queen d2 with the bishop on c1. You'll
yeah.
basically never see me playing a move like that. I won't like block in my own pieces. I'm not gonna play queen d2
Okay.
with the bishop on c1.
Okay.
Right? It's just that's not
Mm-hmm.
it's not something I'm gonna do.
Yep. Yep. Um, okay, a couple more things, I guess. Against a Sicilian, I usually play an open Sicilian,
Okay.
but I will sometimes like castle short and stuff. It depends kind of how they play.
Sure.
But generally, I go for an open Sicilian
Mm-hmm.
and then try and just rush kingside. So just kind of play F6 and then G5 or
Okay.
F3 and then G4
So that would
and
often be with
and
queenside
H.
castling if you get the chance.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm totally fine to play closed and or just castle kingside and kind of chill
Mm-hmm.
and just try and like be better in that regard.
Yeah.
But that's just something I noticed that I get into very winning dominant positions by castling queenside and being aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they're also very sharp, and so
Yeah.
I throw them away a lot of times.
Yeah, those positions may be good, but they've got like a high variance. So
Yeah. So if that's like maybe too risky for us, then I'd be totally fine to cast it the other way and things.
mm-hmm.
But that's generally the way to go there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Carl Khan, do you
In
want to play
the
in the Carl Khan? You want to like exchange and then just play bishop f4 and knight f3? You don't want to play that c4 move that we played today?
It was interesting, honestly. I thought it put them in a really strange position,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I didn't think it was terrible.
Yeah.
I don't really have it. Like I said, I don't really have a great like play against the Karo Khan. That's why I exchange it, because I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like I can advance or exchange, but maybe just like I've dabbled with like knight c3 and just a variety of things against it, but I never feel like I have a comfortable position against it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's always an immediate like trade of the light square bishop and whatever stuff, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So I don't know, against Karo Khan and against King's Indian, I feel like a little bit of some ideas, just like an opening idea would be good, of how we want to like
Right.
get into a position that seems okay.
Right. So you're thinking
Because
like
that's how I usually lose.
you play e4, black plays d6, and then d4 knight f6, and they're playing like g6 and bishop g7.
Wait, for what? Oh no,
When you,
sorry. Not
when you,
King's Indian. King's Gambit. Sorry.
oh, King's Gambit.
King's Indian. I don't. Yeah, I feel fine.
Okay, so
Yeah,
King's
King's Gambit.
Gambit as white or as black?
They play King's
They play
Gambit,
King's
and
Gambit. You're not
I
sure what
feel
to do.
like I feel like I either get absolutely smashed
Mm-hmm.
or I somehow come out and just crush them. Like it all comes down to like one move. But somebody who knows it well, they're like opening theory. I'm always like -3. You know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we might want to go over that real quick because E4, E5, F4. I'm an expert on the King's Gambit myself.
Perfect.
So I would say like we should probably play a variation with. Actually, we've got 3 different variations. Let me like tell you them real quick. I'll make an analysis board and invite you, and then.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've played. The most success I've had is takes. Sorry, most success I've had is takes, and then knight f6.
Mm-hmm. Do you see an
I feel
invitation
like
to my
that's
analysis
been.
board?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me give you like 3 options. One really cool option is you just play bishop c5, and then they like can't castle, and then you just develop your pieces and
Okay.
ignore the whole thing. So basically, like they go knight f3, you go d6, and you just develop your pieces. You know, knight f6, knight c6. If they really mess up, sometimes you can play knight g4 in the
Yeah.
opening, but you can always get out your pieces.
Okay.
So here's one cool option that you could
That
use
seems
if it
kind of
appeals
nice
to
and
you.
simple.
Another one
Yeah.
is you can take and then play d5, pawn takes, knight f6.
Mm-hmm.
It just gets all your pieces out like super
Okay.
easily. You don't try to like refute the opening, which I don't
Right.
think is your style anyway, right? You just your stuff
Yeah.
gets out. You're just so comfortable.
So what if they like play forward or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Seems like a
Interesting.
bad
I
move,
would
I guess.
probably I've never seen anyone play this. I would probably play c5 since they're planning to play d4. And I don't want to let white play d4 and bishop f4 safely, so probably c5 and then knight c6.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
That
feel
was
like
like
I've had,
never
I don't
played
know,
e5.
other
Maybe I
weird
should look at
things.
it one day.
I mean, it seems like they say like G5 here they like, and then it's just better for black, like -2.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't tell you why, because now I feel like D4 comes and
Yeah. No, this is going to be complicated for us to handle.
yeah,
And here's the third
that's nothing I
option.
want to do.
The third option we could do is right on
Okay, yeah, sorry.
f4, we could play d5. And then after pawn takes, play
Yeah, I've
e4,
seen
kind of
this
like
one.
Morphe, and just bring out pieces
Yeah, I
from
was
here.
gonna say Paul Morphy. I studied him
Yeah.
playing it, and this was his like his way to counter it was that, and then this E4 move and just go from there.
Yeah.
But
So out of those
I,
3
I, I feel
styles
like
of
I
play,
tried it sometimes, and I like take, and then I like D4
yeah.
because most likely they're gonna take, and we just take here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Another way people get
is
to
there
that
anything
same
wrong with just
position, queen d5 is not
taking?
good
I
compared to
guess
knight f6, yeah.
yeah, because they get to develop their knight. That's a
Exactly.
good piece. Good point.
And I won't give you that option. I'll say knight, and so you bring out the knight, and
Yeah.
yeah. If they do that, then I'll say pawn, right? And either we win back our pawn here, or they take and bring out all our pieces. So
Right.
yeah. Yeah. That's all very comfortable. Another move order
Cool.
people use
Yeah,
to get the same opening.
I like this way. This is comfy.
Some people will play d5, pawn takes d5, and then pawn takes f4. That's another move order. You're kind of threatening this, and so
Yeah.
then they play like knight f3, knight
Same
f6.
exact thing.
We could do that maybe. That move
Yeah.
order. G5 takes, and then we'll
I'd be down
like.
for either one, honestly.
Oh, sorry, and then we'll take. Anyway, you'll have your choice. Any of those is like will be easy for you to play from there, more or less. You know, compare to the crazier ones.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
All
I like
right.
that. That's better.
Yeah. I should probably go here.
Well, anything else?
So the games start at 9. We check in on Discord at 8, and then
11, so the 1 o'clock my time. Just want to put it in. This is here. So chess, Twitch rivals, and this is at 1 p.m.
no, I think it's at 11 a.m. your time that it starts.
I'm in U.S. Central.
Right. And I think it's at.
So it's 11 a.m. PST.
I think it's 9 a.m. Pacific.
Right.
Let me see.
I'm seeing 11 a.m. Pacific.
Okay, let me see. Let's just say 11 a.m. Oh. Check in at 11 a.m. Pacific. Thanks, Kostya. Why is this so hard for me to hear? Okay, so check in at 11, game at noon. So check in at 1 your time and the first game at 2 your time?
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems right.
Got it. All right. So we'll connect tomorrow sometime between the check-in time and the playing time.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds
Awesome.
Good to me. Perfect. Thanks for the games today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll see you tomorrow.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
All right.
And for everybody in chat, thanks for giving us opponents here. And we'll see you all tomorrow too.
Woo. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Is the cheese pizza you wanted? It's called cheese because it's only got cheese on top of it. This is called a white tomato sauce, but this has tomatoes on it. And then it doesn't have, it has other things like spinach on top. Oh, cheese pizza, buddy, that's what it's called. If you want cheese pizza, you better learn what it's called.
All right, folks. Hasta mañana.
Oh, is it too much? Do we need to take it?
No.